Welcome to Seeing This. I'm the movie mama, Mike Ornelas. We have the feisty Pisces, Erica McMullen. We have the Gerber baby-faced assassin, Adrian Cedeno. And today we are shivering with anticipation to hear what Adrian has to think about the Rocky Horror Picture Show 50th anniversary. Me and Erica have seen this. I have it back here on display. It's funny when I was trying to watch it, I couldn't fucking find the DVD, so I had to call in Adrian's friends, and then
it's on Hulu.
Well, I don't have Hulu.
Yeah, you have my login.
We'll talk about it later. I tried.
Okay,
I tried. It didn't work.
There goes our Hulu sponsorship.
It says literally Erica and Michael on the bottom.
I know. Maybe I got kicked out or something, or I don't know. But anyways, we are here not to discuss our logistics on movie watching, but to celebrate 50 years with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Me and Erica have seen it. Adrian, this was his first time.
I'm gonna take these off.
He has thoughts. He has feelings based on a single text that he sent us and his letterbox rating.
I just need everyone to know how funny our group chat is sometimes. Like, poor Adrian, dude.
Adrian chimes in when he has a moment and to get a quick jab in. I will say you have good, quick, like singular jabs. That
I can be witty, guys. I can be witty. It's just,
Yeah. You're a funny guy. Funny how. So the Rocky Horror Picture Show came out September 26th, 1975. It has been re-showing at theaters across the nation. Hopefully you folks have gotten a chance, or it's still showing, especially since it's, Halloween season. It's kind of it's a lot of costume ideas, to say the least.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I would never go to a Halloween show, street. I would never leave my house in any of these Halloween costumes. Just,
Bro,
we know.
we once we get into it, we'll have to pick which character we're dressing up as for this Halloween. I think I have some ideas for Erica, but and just for the sheer uncomfortable nature you would have with it, Dr. Frankenfurter for you. But let's talk about really quick, Erica. What's your relationship with Rocky Horror Picture Show? Do you remember seeing it for the first time? Have you seen it a few times? Have you seen the stage production?
Yeah, well, I had maybe like 7th or 8th grade where I was like exposed to this. It wasn't something that was often played in our household, and I just think fair, it was a little bit
Not your parents' vibe.
Not that it's not my parents' vibe, because I know that my mom has seen it plenty of times, but like age-wise,
Sure.
we were a little bit young for this one. So I did see it, because I had friends who their parents were like a tad bit like younger than mine, so it was a little bit more often played in their household. So I had like watched it, I think, at a friend's house.
Sure.
But,
I definitely saw it at a young age. There's definitely what a whole different world that I hadn't been exposed to. So it's definitely interesting. Shout out to my old roommate Brian and one of my best friends from Chico. Humboldt.
I have to. I played sports at Humboldt. I have to. It's like ingrained in my soul. Okay.
I get it. Go sports. But he in college had this little crush, we'll call it that way. But he had this little crush that was in a production of Rocky Horror Picture Show. And he dragged me and my buddy Sean, shout out Sean, big supporter of the pod, appreciate it, brought us out to this little community center, community stage. And like they went all out. Like some of the girls were like pretty much just wearing pasties. The costumes are really well done, and I think that's the only time I've seen it like in a stage production, which I think is quite an experience. I as an older adult now, I'd like to do that. Adrian, we're gonna start off with the letterbox description. Again, if you could do your best Tim Curry impersonation out of respect.
I refuse.
I think any request for impersonation, you're just like, nope, not happening. All right, well, tell us, Letterboxd, what to say about this movie.
Okay, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, 1975, directed by Jim Sharman. A different set of jaws. After getting a flat tire in the middle of nowhere, newly engaged couple Brad and Janet encounter the eerie mansion of the flamboyant, seductive Dr. Frankenfurter and a variety of eccentric characters. Through elaborate dance and rock music, the mad scientist unveils his latest creation, a perfect muscular man.
Well, before we get to the category, I guess we should mention the cast and whatnot, right? So director, like you said, Jim Sharman. Writers, Jim Sharman and Richard O'Brien did the original musical production. Cast, Tim Curry, Susan Sarandon, Barry Bostwick, Adrian's boy Meatloaf, Richard O'Brien as well, and a ton of other wonderful performers are in this movie. 0 Oscars, which we'll get to in our last award. We're definitely giving an award out on this one. But Adrian, how about you start us off with the first category, the Will Smith at the Oscars. Does this still slap? What are your thoughts?
Absolutely not. I barely got through this movie. It doesn't slap now. I don't know that it ever slaps. I know it's a cult classic. I don't understand why it would be a cult classic. But it's bad.
Why? What's bad about it?
A lot of it is bad. Like it's one uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable just seeing Tim Curry prance around in that outfit. It is very uncomfortable staring at man's junk like the whole time. It was just uncomfortable for me.
So it sounds more of a you thing than the movie thing. Is that fair to say?
Sure.
It's getting high. Here we go. Right off the bat,
I don't know.
baby.
I don't know. I wouldn't.
Okay.
I would never play this at a family function or any like.
Well,
So when Erica's saying like it's played at like some of her friends' house, like around the family, like I would never play this movie like for my kids to watch. Like I don't
No,
ever. Like
full pause. It wasn't. That's not what I meant. It was just like that movie was on hand because they had watched it a lot. So like they were familiar with it. So like it wasn't like we were watching it as a family. Like, it's one of those where you like sneak it and are watching it kind of thing.
sure. Well, Erica, what do you think? Does this movie still slap?
I mean, yeah, but I think too. I get where Adrian's coming from, where it's like it's not everybody's cup of tea. It is a very peculiar is the words I always come to. Um, but like performance wise, like Tim Curry just transcends in this film. Like it's so comforting to know that like this film was around in the 70s, like, where it
Mhm.
was a lot of like free thought movement kind of thing. And like to have representation like that on such a big stage is just like so astounding and like heartwarming for me.
Mm.
Um, Definitely the nostalgia factor for me is like, yes, this still slaps. For me, it's just like such a funny, goofy movie that I
Yeah.
think, yeah, it's always gonna slap for me.
I'm on the other side of the tracks than Adrian as far as like if it ever slapped. I mean, I think it was ahead of its time. Like you were saying, Erica, it's just ahead. It's just after like the sexual revolution of the 60s, 70s, and I think the comfort that the movie shows with having people that, well, in the movie he says transvestite, so I guess the character we're to presume is a transvestite, Frankenfurter, but also to have a pansexual relationship or sexual orientation that Frankenfurter has,
Mhm.
to my understanding, is well ahead of its time as far as like the conversations we have now around sexual orientation, right? And Tim Curry has said as much in interviews, years later, that Frankenfurter is a pansexual. And I think the musical aspect of this, the first half is stronger than the second half, I
Yeah.
think, as far as music goes, and even the movie. Um, but to your point, Erica, like it's just a fun time. Like you
Mhm.
can't take it. It's a science fiction movie about making the perfect specimen for this Dr. Frankenstein kind of parody.
Mhm.
And if you just take it at face value, like it's just so fun. The energy, it's just a good time. So I'm sorry, Adrian. I think we
I
gotta
don't know why
go.
you guys
Yes, it still
force these
slaps.
movies on me. Like, I feel like it's a personal attack. Like, I thought I was very progressive, you know? And then you guys put
Hey,
me in front of these movies that
but
I'm like, man, like, I guess I'm not progressive because this was not fun for me
but
at all. Did I enjoy
I'm
this
gonna
movie? Not
disagree
one
with
bit.
you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna totally disagree with you, Adrian, because you watched the movie. Regardless of how you felt about it afterwards, like, those are your boundaries, right? So, like, you're just not quite comfortable in those scenarios, but you did, in fact, watch this movie, and so I think that already kind of, like, um, highlights the fact that you are, in fact, a little bit more progressive than I think you are, just by willing
Then
to
maybe you
watch the
think
movie.
yourself. Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah, maybe
hopefully,
you think yourself, but
because I was
just
mad
watching
watching
the
this.
movie itself is a feat, you know? I think that's something to be proud of.
And I think our goal here with the podcast, to be honest, and not just with you or me or Erica, but our listeners, is to highlight movies that maybe you're not familiar with. Talk about it, and if it's something that sparks your interest and you want to check it out, great. If it's something that like, ooh, that's not for me, or like Erica said, it's not within my boundary, then maybe you don't watch it. Or maybe it's like, hey, maybe I want to try to exercise my boundaries and see how far I can expand and have a self-reflection of why don't I like it? You know what I mean? And we could
I
talk about
mean,
that
and it's
offline,
fair
Adrian.
though.
Yeah, yeah.
You're a
I don't wanna get
straight
anybody in
man. It's
trouble.
not really appealing to watch a man walking around in
Right,
tights, you know?
right.
Mhm.
Breaking news, I'm a straight man. And
No,
and like
Questionable.
I understand that, but just as you guys just identify, you could tell you're like way more open than Adrian typically is, and that's not I don't want to say that's a bad thing because I think like I said, Adrian's still like expanding on something that like not that I want to say that you've been exposed more than Adrian has.
I probably have. I mean, I
Yeah,
lived in San Francisco a few years. I've,
yeah.
explored different kinds of clubs and have
Mhm.
different kinds of friends that
Maybe
go to
I
different
should
kinds of
shout out my
bars.
mom
And
again and be like, "Thanks for not having me watch this movie ever." Because I think this is something, like, she has seen. I think it's something, like, my uncles have seen. They grew up in Hollywood. They were well aware of the West Hollywood scene, you know, like, I'm sure I mean, I've had uncles that are very flamboyant, so I understand. It's just
not for you.
nah, it's not
Sure.
something I'm comfortable
Fair
looking
enough.
at watching. Like, I don't take offense to people that are like that, or like I can hang out and not have a problem. But watching it in a
Just
film
fire.
in that context where he's trying to get others to be
Well, so
that's
that
a
could come
part of
up.
it. You know what I mean?
That can come up in some categories here. So let's move forward to the Gladiator 2 unnecessary sequel. What happens in the sequel? Erica, did you have any ideas for a
If
sequel post this
anybody
movie?
ever made a sequel to this movie, I would beat their ass.
Leave it alone. Leave it
Yeah,
alone.
this is just I mean, you like we've talked about like multiple movies before where you just have a film where like you really and it's going to really come down to it and like the recasting aspect of this episode, but
Hmm.
it's just one of those things where you don't really want to replace anybody. You don't want another story. You kind of like where it's at. A little bit of mystery, a little bit of your own interpretation towards the end there. I wouldn't want a sequel. I just would not want a freaking
So I
sequel.
got an idea. In a sequel, they're on like the planet that
That's
they're
where I was
from,
going.
and it's like
Yeah.
the fifth element kind of thing, like just going through
Oh,
their
that could be
planet, and that
funny.
they are banished to that like to Earth to be
Well,
like,
we go with
experimental
Riff
with
Raff.
sexual
Uh-huh.
tendencies and all that.
Well, we go with Riff Raff and Magenta, who are ancestral brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
to their planet at the end, and we just see other characters that are like just batshit off the wall, and see what that planet's like. Kind of like you saying Fifth Element. I think that's something that could be done. Erica didn't put her phone on Do Not Disturb and is getting a call.
Oh
Here
my
we
god.
go. Welcome
I'm
back.
on do not disturb. How does that happen?
Uh-huh. Technical issues starting early, folks. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, we could just
If
call
you're
it
new
now.
here,
We just call it now. It's all right.
if you're new here, this is a ongoing bit.
How does this happen? And, like, I bet you anything they're gonna call again.
Well,
Hold
listen,
on, give me, like, 5 seconds. 5. I feel so terrible because they've been in Nepal for the past 2 years.
yeah, we've been
Hold
in
on.
this podcast room for the past half hour.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so sequel, we'll go to their planet,
Okay, wait, I wanna add on to that
transsexual
because that
Transylvania.
would
Yeah,
be really funny if The Fifth Element and Rocky Horror Picture Show were, like, intertwined because, Chris
same
Tucker's
world.
character, like, him and like,
Mm,
Dr. Frankfurt, like,
mm,
know each other from, like, a
mm.
past life. That could be cool, I kinda like that
It's
because he's,
it's
like,
kinda
super
like
crazy in that film where he's, like, over the top, like,
yeah,
dramatic, pop star kinda thing.
Flamboyant.
Mhm.
yeah, and they do that with, E.T., where Yoda shows up in a costume, and E.T., like, recognizes Yoda, so same kinda, like,
Well, and then yeah,
crossover.
and then ETs are in what, Phantom Menace?
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah, they follow up with that. Alright, the Whip Whitaker from Flight, No Fly Zone, what hasn't aged well? And Adrian, don't say everything.
I feel like everything did not age well, but specifically for me, when he came out whipping him, like Riff Raff, he was
Uh,
whipping him out of the thing because the buff
he
guy
let
gets ripped
Rocky
out. Yeah, he
loose.
let Rocky out.
Rocky, yeah.
I was like, "Man, that's messed up." And first off, like, at the end when you find out they're aliens from the like, they're, like, on top, they're like the emperors, and I was like, "And you letting him whip you like that? Like, that's kinda messed up, that's weird."
Erica, what do you got?
I actually was gonna say the same exact thing, like,
The
I
whipping?
don't really like that scene at all. Yeah.
I've actually got, and it's one of the things that's probably the most ingrained in my mind because I saw it young. But the whole sneaking, Frankenfurter sneaking in to bed with Janet, followed by Brad, pretending to be Brad with Janet and Janet with Brad. Um, it's pretty fucked up. Like it's very borderline of rape, manipulation, grooming. To
That
Adrian's point,
coercion, yeah.
yeah, to Adrian's
You guys
point,
love
like
this movie.
take it easy, take it
You
easy.
guys wanna support this
That's why it
stuff.
was. It's a no fly zone now. But I'd also say I don't know if this is a hot take per se, but I'd also say that's kind of like where my memory of the movie kind of like there's a line. Like I remember that first half of the movie all the way up to that really well, and then beyond that, it was almost like watching it for the first time again. When I watched it this time around.
It's been a while since I've last watched it. I know that's for sure. So, yeah,
Yeah,
kinda like you, Michael, a lot of things were, like, new and fresh, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, wait, I forgot that kinda
yeah,
happened," but
yeah.
yeah.
The only other thing I had was the incest dynamic of Riff Raff and Magenta.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
yeah.
that's kind of, what are you gonna do? The M. Night Shyamalan twist ending, a twist ending we would have for the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Let me give mine, and you guys tell me what you think.
Okay.
First of all, there was too many twists at the end. Like one that Riff Raff and Magenta were kind of like superior over Frankenfurter. Um, but I think when they get ready to like take off back home and all the gas goes off and Janet and Brad, I presume end up dying, right? And all that. Is that what we're led to believe? Do they die?
I don't think so.
Because we see that they have their song and then that's the last time we see them.
I
I
assumed
think
that
that
they, like,
that would be
wake up, like, in the middle of a crop circle, you know what I mean? Like, "What happened?"
Mm,
You know?
mm. So
yeah.
my twist ending is that like because they're talking about like time travel and time warp, that like they travel back to the same place where the movie started and they're singing and partying again all over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I feel like that's
I
not. We wouldn't
like,
pitch
I
it. It
kinda
doesn't work.
like what you said, there's already, like, a lot of good, like, twists at the very end.
Mm.
Um, I mean, a good twist, like, we gotta think, like, 70s too, like, I don't know, they wake up from a dream or something like that, or, like, they're in like, so you know how, like, the narrator like, they're in the narrator's
The
office.
criminologist, I think he's called.
Yeah, and, like, he's a criminologist, but he also, like, doubles as a psychiatrist or something, and they're
Oh, he's
like
talking to them or
he's
something.
talking to them about
Um,
this story and trying to, like, delve what was real and what wasn't.
You would have to change it. It'd have to be like he's telling us about Brad and Janet, his patients.
Yeah.
Like there'd have to be a little tweaks along the way,
Yeah.
but I could see that. That's fair. That's fair. No Country for Cold Take, hot takes. Adrian gives this a 1.5 on Letterboxd. I'd say that's a hell of a hot take.
I think, what did I put on Letterboxd? I'm pretty sure I put something along the line.
You said it.
I will never I will never see Tim Curry the same from Home Alone 2. Lost
you can
in New
never
York.
watch Home Alone.
Yeah, I
You
can't
said you
just
can never watch it
like
again.
he gets slapped and his lip quivers and I'm like, oh my god, it's the perfect acting. Like he's so good. And then I'm like, oh man, that's Frankenfurter. Like I can't unsee that.
Which he's also so good in. I mean,
I can't unsee
oh,
it.
your feelings aside, Tim Curry fucking kills it. No?
Yeah, he definitely
can
had
you
the
give
best
him that?
singing voice. I think that in my like it was definitely a unique voice, but I think he had the best chops for sure.
Okay. Well, I haven't really heard a hot take yet. Erica, what do you have?
That it's not a good movie.
I mean, I guess that's your hot take.
That's I guess that could be
That's your hot take. That it's a 1.5 movie. Yeah, 1.5 star.
I don't think that the one gal needed to. What's the guy who's locked up who comes out of on the motorcycle?
Eddie.
She like her story didn't need she didn't need to be in love with Eddie. I I kind of didn't really like I understand like her like hopping from Frankenfurter to Eddie and stuff like that, but like I think she should have been more involved with hit with him, Janet, Brad, like maybe in like a 4 to give more of like the Pauly kind of aspect to it, because it was just like
well, there's
him.
There's kind of conflictions there, right? Because I think Frankenfurter is very open to be Pauly or open, but nobody else, like everyone else, wants his attention to one degree.
Yeah, so like I'm saying, like I wish I would have seen them trying to like maybe manipulate like Brad and Janet a little bit more, because they know that that's his end goal and like they're not happy with it. So like trying to like sabotage him or like they revolt or something like.
So pretty much you would have liked to have, I think her name's Columbia.
Yeah, Columbia.
She's the one that you're going to be for Halloween, by the way, with the shorter haircut. I could see it now.
Nell Campbell.
So I have two. The first one you're probably going to say isn't a hot take. Maybe Adrian will, but I think this is Tim Curry's best performance and most empowering, just across all his movies. I'll also say
think this is better than when he played It.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's okay. You know what? I will say that as a hot take because
for what he's asked to do, he has to sing. He has to be in his costume. He did his own makeup. He's got to dance to an extent. He's got to run in heels. Like he's got to do so much, and he fucking nails it, I think. So that was one. The other one I had was this is the best adaptation of a Frankenstein story ever.
That is an extremely hot take, dude. Like white hot.
It's the best.
No, it is absolutely not the best.
You don't like Young Frankenstein with Gene Wilder?
It's a good one.
That's so good.
It's a good one. But I take this. I would take this. Like end to end, I think I would take this. That's my hot take.
I'll be curious to see if you think the same after watching Maggie Gyllenhaal's coming out with
I do. I'll tell you this.
I want that to be on our list.
No spoiler, but I did see the Guillermo del Toro one, and I'll tell you this, it's better than that. But The Bride does look good. The Bride, Maggie Gyllenhaal's movie looks great. Yeah, so we'll see.
I could say those are both pretty hot takes.
Coming in hot. All right, the Winona Ryder. I'm stealing this best prop clothing to take from the set. Erica, what do you have?
It's gotta be his OG outfit. Like when he first shows up, his corset, his things, his shoes. You just can't pass that up.
That's good. Adrian, what are you taking? Anything? Are you taking anything from the set?
Rocky's diaper.
Clean it off.
Rocky's gold diaper.
Nah, one of the girls was wearing a dope gold, like top hat, and it was all gold, sparkly. Maybe that. I don't
Okay.
know. Not much
Okay.
else.
A
Okay.
I
top
think he was
hat.
wearing some pearl necklaces. Those pearl necklaces were
He
kind
did
of
have a pearl when he had the like doctor
yeah,
gown on. Yeah, white
like
Mhm.
pearl
Marge
necklace. He give it up
Simpson,
to
big
Ross.
old pearl necklace. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna take the skeleton coffin clock that we see when the Brad and Janet first arrive. There's a clock there of a coffin and the skeletons in it. Little spoiler to IMDb trivia we'll get at the end, but that skeleton was a real skeleton. Apparently, it was like a real human skeleton that they used and went for auction. But we'll get to that. The Castaway recasting. Who would you recast in this movie? Erica, you kind of hinted you don't want to recast anyone. Is that the
If we're
case?
gonna recast someone, I think it's got to be Brad.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on page there.
I'm
Do
not
you have any
like everybody
suggestions?
else I really like. And like Brad, you can always have like a dumb man playing in that character, so
Wow. Just
uh,
really reducing him to a
he's
dumb man.
stupid.
He
He's
kind of is.
just really stupid.
So Barry Bostwick is who you would replace. Adrian, what do you got?
Sure, Barry Bostwick.
Barry Bostwick. I mean, I'm on the same page there, but I, do my homework and actually have some substitutes. So you guys tell me if this is
Okay.
what you would agree with. So I have a couple people. I have Alec Baldwin. He's age appropriate, and he kind of has a similar look. He can be funny.
He
It'd
can
be
sing.
really interesting. Him and Susan Sarandon together. I think that would be an interesting dynamic. I also thought of Alan Ruck from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He's in Speed. He was in Succession. He was a little young. He was like almost 10 years younger than Susan Sarandon. He would have been like 20 when this came out. So he's a little young there. And then just my last nominee, I thought Rob Lowe. No.
Maybe
Rob.
not. I like Alec
Okay.
Baldwin. I like that one.
Okay. We could go with Alec Baldwin. Not a
Yeah.
problem. I that was my first pick. And last category, the Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito and Twins double feature recommendation. Adrian, what are you recommending to watch after this great Rocky Horror Picture Show experience?
You guys are gonna laugh. Chicken Little. So I thought of Chicken Little because like the aliens are coming down and like it's a whole misunderstanding. I thought of Chicken Little. Like I don't know. I was watching it thinking of these aliens. As soon as you realize they're aliens and they're leaving, I thought of Chicken Little. Like what the hell did we just
You're
watch?
trying to get as far away from
As
this
far
movie
away
as possible.
Yeah, Chicken Little.
Okay. Erica, do you have a double feature recommendation?
That's insane.
Yeah, that's a hot take too.
That's a hot take, yeah. Kind of like along the lines of your Baldwin there, I think Beetlejuice is a fun like double feature to
Zany.
this. Just kind of like that same like flair for dramatic, but maybe a little bit more on like kind of like the spooky side of things, and you get to see like young characters and young actresses that you probably grew up watching in a lot of other movies, really nostalgic. But Michael Keaton's performance as Beetlejuice like very often reminds me of how Tim Curry plays Dr. Frankenfurter, like that over the top dramatic, like I don't care if I'm flamboyant, like I'm gonna get my point across kind of thing. But I think that'd be a good pair to this.
That's good. I was going down the lines of sticking with Tim Curry. So I thought of Clue. I don't know if a lot of folks have seen Clue, but it's like the popular game Clue. He plays like the main. He's not the butler. He's like the host. He's like the main guy or whatever in that. I just remember seeing that very young. I remember seeing that very young
His
as
name
well.
is Wadsworth in that movie.
Wadsworth, thank you, Adrian. I remember just seeing the maid in that movie and being very impressed by her skill set. But if you want to go more family friendly and hear Tim Curry sing, watch yourself Fern Gully.
Dude, like, that song
so good.
Bangs. That song is his song that's the best song. So good.
Yeah. For sure. Let's get to our awards here. The Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, big mistake. Huge. What's a big nitpick in this movie? Adrian, let's hear what you got.
Big nitpick. I mean, it's hard to pick just one. Like I really just didn't enjoy the movie, so it's hard to nitpick one thing that I thought was off when the whole movie was off.
Man, this movie just really threw your game off. You
It
come in
did.
hot,
It
you
did.
come
I
in
didn't.
throwing fastballs, and you're like
Mhm.
getting lit up for 6 runs in 2 innings.
Mhm. This one threw me
Wow.
off. Like
Okay.
I'll
I
give
had
you one.
I didn't enjoy any part of watching it. Like honestly, I was sitting there trying to think of
None of the songs were
art.
like catchy. None of the
No,
costumes, like some credit, nothing.
no.
Wow. Okay.
Okay,
Erica,
I'll
what's
give
your
you credit.
nitpick?
I'll give you credit because the best part was what's the dance?
The end credits when it's over.
Yeah, that's it. What was the dance? Robot
Time warp,
The
probably.
time
warp.
warp.
The
Well,
time
there's no
warp.
robot,
That's
but
the
yeah,
only point. That was the I was like, oh,
hey,
okay.
you just got to
Yeah,
take a hop to the left.
Yeah.
And then the step to the right.
Yeah, there you go.
Put your hands on your hips.
I could do that one. That's an easy
Squeeze your
dance.
knees in tight.
And then hip
Erica, what's your
thrust.
nitpick?
I hate how dramatically upset Rocky is when they shoot Dr. Frankfurter, when he like goes over his body and he's like moaning and groaning. I'm like, okay, are you really that upset? Like, are you really that upset?
Sure.
Like, you're
I guess
upset about this?
to that same point, I was a little confused where like the empathy then went to Frankenfurter by everyone after
Yeah.
he just Medusa'd all of them and turned them into stone.
Yeah.
Well, I had initially Riff Raff starts fucking with Rocky, and that's what leads to Rocky breaking free. And it's like, why is he even fucking with him? But I guess once we find the turn at the end, like, okay, whatever. Magenta wouldn't work. Oh, sorry, not magenta. Magnets wouldn't work that way when it pulls Dr. Scott's wheelchair. It's like very precision, like up the stairs. And I think there's even a point where you can kind of see the wire pulling him up the stairs. Fun fact, he broke in through the wall because the set designer forgot to put a door into that laboratory room. So they just had a, and then you
That's
get Great
amazing.
Scott. Look at that, Great Scott. If there's no, actually, now's the time, Adrian. If there's no Rocky Horror Picture Show, there may be no Back to the Future with Great Scott. Cutting back to the narrator during the movie it must have inspired Tales from the Crypt, which inspired Treehouse of Horrors and The Simpsons. So if there's no Rocky Horror Picture Show, there may not be any Treehouse of Horrors and The Simpsons. Magenta released the dogs to find Rocky, released the hounds in The Simpsons. There's no Rocky Horror Picture Show. There may not be any Mr. Burns release the hounds.
I think these should have been your hot takes, because are you claiming that all these things were first done in Rocky Horror Picture Show, and that was like they have the copyright on that, like they patented that and they got that stamp, like this was done here first?
Until proven otherwise, that is my headcanon.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Hey, everybody, Mikey's email handle or your Instagram handle.
Send this email at gmail.com.
There you go.
Let me know. Put it in the comments.
Send
Let
emails,
me know
guys.
where
Send
they
emails.
originated.
Let Mikey know.
If anyone's getting comments from this episode, it's you, brother. Anyways, okay, where was I? We are gonna go with I guess the pivot to empathize with Frankenfurter at the end. Like, why did they now care? I'll give you that. That's fair. John Leguizamo. This movie needs a Latin award, a Latin actor to add to the cast. I have someone for you, Adrian.
It doesn't need
I have
a
someone
Latin.
for you.
This is one of those. This is probably the only movie I'll ever say could go without a Latin.
You've said it before. You're just trying to keep our people down.
I got you guys.
Keep our people down in a narrow-minded view. But you know who didn't have a narrow mind? Who would play all kinds of crazy characters and probably one of the most popular.
I appreciate that movie.
No. I'm not saying John Leguizamo. He represents this category. But I got Raul Julia. Gomez Adams himself would be great in this movie. Raul Julia would fit in like a fucking glove into this movie as another laboratory person, as another love interest. Maybe he comes like towards the end and it's like, Frankenfurter, you said you were going to get a fucking pack of cigarettes. I don't know, fucking whatever. But he would fit in so well with this movie.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
So Adam's
Thank
Family
you.
could have been
Thank
your
you.
double feature.
It could have been, but you know what? I already did that. So we're gonna give it to Raul Julia as our Latin joining the Rocky Horror Picture Show. The Samwise Gamgee Most Underrated Character Award. Who's the most underrated character in this movie? I have 2 nominees, but Adrian,
Magenta.
underrated character? Magenta.
Mhm.
She doesn't get too much to do. I mean, she does, but she doesn't. You know. Okay.
She gets killed off
Erica?
pretty quick.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah.
But
Her and
bro, Magenta and Riff Raff are brother and sister. She
oh, okay,
stays
not
till
her.
the
The
end.
other one, Columbia. The one that's
Well, she
in
doesn't
love
get
with
killed
what's
off
her
early.
face? With what's his face? The bike rider.
Eddie.
Yes.
That's Columbia.
Yes.
Columbia.
I mean,
That whole
she's
relationship
in
needed
it.
more. Like, we need to see
Yeah.
why was
I
Frankfurter
had
so mad that he was gonna kill this dude.
I also had Columbia because she's kind of, her performance is great. I think what she's doing with the screen time she has, as far as the dance, as far as the enthusiasm, as far as like, you know, the limited story connection she has to Frankenfurter, is really strong. Nell Campbell, yeah, that's it. I thought she was very underrated in this movie. I would have liked to see a little bit more depth. I also had Riff Raff, but I guess by the end he is kind of like very poignant in it. But I will say, I don't know if you guys caught that. That's Richard O'Brien who did the musical production. Like he's the one that put together the musical production of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I don't know why that didn't click for me until much later on. So shout out to him. We'll give it to Columbia. The Daughter in Hereditary Oh Shit Moment Award. Erica, what do you got?
When Janet sleeps with Rocky.
Sure.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
I-
like she's gonna do
Well,
it.
Sucia.
I mean, that's one oh shit followed by the next oh shit when Brad does the same things. It's the same lines
Well,
work on
she
Brad
does
also,
it.
you know.
She does it in response to seeing him and the doctor on the
Right.
thing.
She's not saying her and Frankfurter.
No.
She's talking about him and Rocky. Her and Rocky.
Yeah.
Susan Sarandon and Rocky.
I'm sorry.
Her
I'm
and
sorry.
Rocky.
Got
So
it.
like everything's kind of already
Got
happened,
it.
and then she sees Brad and Frankfurter on the thing, and then when I'm like, oh shit, she saw it, and then she sleeps with Rocky, and you're like, oh shit, she's gonna do it.
But I mean, she's a bit more open-minded from the start. Like within the first couple songs inside of the castle, she's like,
Yes and
all right,
no,
you know?
right?
Brad,
They
like,
kind of
looks at her.
they kind of flip flop back and forth, like because at first she's like, I'm scared, I want to go, but then she's into it. But then other things happen. She's like, no, this is demented. We can't be here. So it's a lot of back and forth. But like when she finally was
She's
like,
more open to it than Brad.
yeah,
She's
as
more
it
open to
goes
the idea
on, like
of-
Brad still goes back and forth, but like as far as like progressively, yeah, she thinks like is a little bit more open minded.
I love that. I love that Adrian's just uncomfortable listening to this conversation, let alone the movie.
Okay, so the uncomfort is like, I don't know how to voice what's in my head, like politically correct, because
without getting us canceled.
right, like I don't think like him succumbing to Frankfurter is much bigger of a like, no, you gotta kind of be gay to, like allow somebody to.
There's nothing wrong with you could say
No,
that.
but
There's
that
nothing
was
wrong
the
with saying that
that
he
was the
has
point
he's
of
on the
it, though.
gay
Well,
spectrum.
I kind
That
of
was
want to
the
be
point
like,
of him.
I ain't gay, you suck my dick. Well, no, you still like.
Oh my god, that's like
I
that
guess
one
there would be
South
no.
Park episode where Cartman is like, I sucked his dick, so like he let me suck his dick, like he's gay, not me. You're like, no, Cartman, like
Sure.
you did it. It's like
It's from Scary Movie too, and he's like, I ain't gay, he sucked my dick. But
Yeah.
no, it's
Shout out
no,
Scary
but
Movie.
that is like the point of that scene, though, is like
Right.
the doctor, like, hey, like I'm telling you that like you're into this, like there's nothing wrong with it, like just go with it, kind of
His
thing. But
approach
that's
was
where
wrong. His approach was wrong.
yes, but that's where remember
His
how
approach
Michael
was
was
wrong.
saying it
Yeah.
kind of got into like the weird realm of like coercion of like, is this 100% consensual? Like all
Right.
of that kind of stuff. But that's why that happens, is he's trying to convince him that, like, "No, like, this is okay, like, we're all about this life here, this is what we do."
And I, as a straight man, very much would say that's what's wrong with it. Like, I okay, maybe I could
But
say
you're
it like this.
presuming
Like,
Brad is you're presuming Brad is 100% straight. He's on the
right, well,
far side of
And
the
we kinda,
sure,
like,
sure.
see that he's not,
And I guess that's
even at the
part of it.
wedding, at
Like,
his friend's wedding.
which I okay, I guess that's the part of the movie that should been highlighted a little more is like he's not straight, right? Because
you're
the
saying
whole
that
time you're
that should have been hinted at.
right. You're under the notion that he's gonna marry her and they're gonna, you know, have be a family, and so now he's not. He's been gay this whole time, and we don't know,
It's again the spectrum of it. He'd be bisexual or pansexual as far as like
or have been tricked
if
into it.
I think that's a blurred line because of the way he's coerced. Why can't I say it? Coerced.
Coerced.
Maybe that's why society
Coerced.
or homophobes have these feelings towards this community because of notions that, hey, if you're gay, that means you're going to try to make me gay. And that's where some of that fear and biasness and uncomfortableness stems from. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's not, hey, LGBTQ community, you guys are wrong, you're sinful. I'm sure that's part of it, but that's not what entire society is worried about. It's more like, well, if you're gonna coerce your cohere.
See,
How do you
it's
say
not
that
just
word?
me.
Cohere?
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
Coercive?
It's spelled
Coercive?
COE,
The
so
spelling's not going to help.
yeah, but there's no A to it, so just
Coerced.
say coerced. Coerced.
Coerced. There you go.
Coerced. Boo earns.
So
Yeah.
that's like a part of the fear and the, reason why they want to try to separate or they want to shun communities like that.
Well, after you get back from your next Christmas adventurer meeting, let us know what they say. Moving on. The Rocky Balboa Gut Punch Most Emotional Award goes to this. This is not really emotional. The only thing I could think of is Columbia confessing her love to Frankenfurter, I guess, because it's like she's devastated.
Is anger an emotion?
It is. Okay, go ahead.
I
Sure.
I was pretty angry.
Sure. So since there isn't really like an emotional scene outside of Adrian being upset with this movie, I guess we'll go with Columbia confessing her love to Frankenfurter. That brings us to the Coleman Domingo Best Dressed Award. Erica, why is it Tim Curry as Dr. Frankenfurter?
Right. Like,
I mean,
so hot.
that's there's no like first and second place is like a huge gap.
Well, and it's just like, it's not even just the outfit too. It's like the confidence of him, like as an actor, like being able to play this character and like be fabulous. And like you said, run around in heels, chase Susan Sarandon up and down the stairs, around the block kind of thing. Obviously it's him.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out Tim Curry. He had a stroke years ago, so he's his health isn't well. With that being said, my friend went to a production down in LA, I think yesterday, and he was there. Him and Barry Bostwick were there at this production to speak. So power to Tim even making that effort. Like he doesn't have to do that.
He was
That's
just
incredible.
in an interview recently where they were talking about it being the anniversary year and how big of an impact Frankenfurter was. And so he just responded. He's like, I'm just so blessed that I was able to play a character that resonates with so many people. He's like, it's such a blessing. So, we have a real gem to be playing this character for sure.
Yeah, I mean, however you feel, Adrian, about Tim Curry's other movies now that you've seen this, I think he's probably one of the most underrated actors that we have. You know what I mean? As far as his
Maybe
ability to sing.
underappreciated.
Appreciated, maybe that's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
He did a lot of
Anybody's out?
animated roles too, like,
He did do
he
a lot
does
of
a lot of
Mhm.
voice.
a lot of
He's
voice
got
for
a
him.
great
Yeah.
voice.
Him and Susan Sarandon reunited at Rugrats in Paris.
Yeah.
Adrian, any Coleman Domingo? Or, I mean, it's Tim Curry. Can we agree
Yeah,
on that?
we can agree on that.
He's like, "Sure."
Let's get this podcast over with. New director who this award. I have an idea, but I'm sure you guys are gonna be like, oh, no wonder. But do you guys have anyone before I say mine? A director that you'd
Um,
like to see do this?
and I think this would just be, like, if they ever adapted it, like, if they ever, like, remade it, because like, there's no guarantees in Hollywood now, like, they're just fucking remaking everything. If they ever were to remake it, I would like to see, like, a Lin-Manuel Miranda doing, like, the music and stuff like
Wow,
that, and, like, adding, like, a little bit of that, like, upbeat. He can make it really funny.
that's interesting. Yes, musically, but I don't know if he'll still have that like cult culture aspect of it. You know what I mean?
I
Maybe,
mean,
maybe, maybe. I'm
yeah.
open to it.
I
I'm
would have
open to
said
it. It
I was thinking like Tim Burton, like, kind of like the dark animation kind of, bring like a Edward
mm,
Scissorhands kind of feel to it.
that'd be interesting to do, like a animation, a Rocky
Yeah,
Horror.
because Danny Elfman would be doing all of the music, so that would be very interesting.
Well, you guys' names are probably more recognizable than who I have, but I was gonna go with Alan Parker, who, funny enough, with One Battle After Another coming out, an old interview resurfaced with him and Paul Thomas Anderson, and I was like, holy shit, Alan Parker, he's the director of The Wall, which is also a musical. But he also did movies like Mississippi Burning, Evita, Angela's Ashes. But I think specifically because he did The Wall, and The Wall is pretty like heavy and dark, and it's also a musical. So I think it would make it not as fun. It'd probably be a bit more heavy, which takes away from the a lot of the allure of Rocky Horror. Um, I think I like Adrian's answer. I mean, for the sake of enduring this movie, Adrian, I think we'll give it to Tim Burton. Give it to Tim Burton, new director. Who this? Lastly, and the Oscar goes to again, Erica. Why is it Tim Curry?
Yeah, I mean, and it cracks me up because there again, another interview that was recently popped up with Susan Sarandon, they were obviously talking about it, and she just, like, comes out, she's like, "I am so surprised they wanted me for this movie, like, I can't sing for shit," like and clearly, like, you can tell she can't sing for shit in this film.
Apparently,
Um,
she had just swung by set, and
yeah,
like they couldn't find the right person, and they're like, "Hey,
and
what are you
yeah.
doing?"
And she was, like, ended up being perfect for it. But yeah, it's gotta be Tim Curry. I mean,
Yeah.
he obviously is the star of the show and carries this movie, both the good and the evil of it, the fun and the bad and the crazy, like, it's all him.
Adrian, you have any? You looked like you were going to say something.
I
No.
mean, he has to have it, like, he is the movie, but I wouldn't I just wonder, would it still be a cult classic? Would it still be as good if, like, say, Susan Sarandon wasn't in it? So then that's the biggest name that I think is in this movie besides Tim Curry. But would it still
Barry
be
Bostwick at the
At the
time,
time, she wasn't. At
right?
the time, she definitely did not have a
but I don't
name
think this
like
was a cult
The
that.
same
classic
pool.
at the time when it comes out, like, it became a cult classic, like,
I did.
20, 30
I
years
might have
later
to
kind of a thing,
argue
right?
it I might have to argue with you on that, and I think when it did come out, yes, it was immediately one of those things that a lot of people loved and a lot
I'm
of
asking, I
people
don't know.
did not.
I disagree. I think it bombed in the theater. Like
Yeah.
I remember reading something about like they went to a premiere and it was literally just like cast and crew in it. Like nobody showed up. So I think
Really?
over the
Yeah.
years it picked up,
Definitely
and
within 10 years, though.
maybe, maybe.
I
But
I
I
just
think to
wonder,
Adrian's
would it
argument,
still be a cult classic if it didn't have, like, a name like Susan Sarandon in it?
I think so. I mean, Tim Curry is the reason. I mean, I think he's the reason. I think anyone else could have been replaced. But I will say, a honorable mention should be Richard O'Brien, for his performance as Riff Raff on top of doing the music for
Yeah.
Rocky Horror. Like, if there's anything that's a second, the second thing that comes to mind is the music, right? With Time Warp. I mean, there's about half a dozen bangers though, Adrian.
I didn't
Adrian's so
like
over
the
musicals.
yeah. I'm over musicals, and these songs weren't catchy enough that I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, I don't like the sound of music, but I can recognize all the songs. Like, this was not that.
But you were more exposed to those songs for years. Like, this is your first time seeing
I
this,
haven't been exposed to, like, Cinderella and all those things, but I
It's
still
understood
recognize all those
that.
Beauty and the Beast, you recognize all those songs. Doesn't matter.
Sure.
Like,
Sure. We'll give it to Tim Curry. And for the sake of helping Adrian get out of this episode, let's dive into this IMDb trivia. Some interesting ones. Feel free to stop me, guys, if you want to comment on any of these. But Adrian, riddle me this. Barry Bostwick. He's been in a movie that we've covered on the podcast. Can you name that movie?
Incredibles 2?
We haven't covered that. We haven't covered that
when
movie.
have we covered that?
No.
Let's see.
I'll tell you. He is the adult narrator, the adult terror in Fantastic Planet. That's Barry Bostwick's voice.
I was wondering why
Wow.
they didn't like blend this movie, like the second version when they're on a planet would be the Fantastic Planet.
That's pretty good. We
like
take they're very into meditation though. I feel like they're very
They just
different and they
teleport
look
to a different planet and have
Maybe they're in the same universe. They're in the what is it?
Transylvania
universe. Yeah. Okay. According to interviews, Patricia Quinn, who played Magenta, only took a role in the play because she loved the opening song science fiction double feature. She was upset when she didn't get to sing the song in this movie, but agreed to lip sync the words as the pair of red lips in the beginning. But the vocals are done by Richard O'Brien.
Oh wow.
Those are her lips and teeth because those things grossed me out.
I mean, it's a staple for the movie.
She has like
yellow,
like going straight down the middle. Like I was like, oh, her roots are freaking deteriorate. Like she must be a smoker.
For the sake of defending her, we'll say it was part of the character design. Theatrical movie debut for Tim Curry. So this was his first theatrical movie. Put him on the map. In an interview with Terry Gross on her radio program Fresh Air, Tim Curry said that he got to meet King Charles III and Princess Diana because she loved Curry in this movie. Curry recalled that he was placed at the end of the receiving line, and while Prince Charles only vaguely recognized Curry from seeing him on television, Princess Diana told Curry with a wicked smile that Rocky Horror had quite completed my education. Princess Diana, a freak. When Barry Bostwick pounds his fist, rest in peace. Yes, of course. What?
You can't be Diana a freak. What's wrong with you?
That's not a bad. I'm not saying that in a bad way.
No, but we just shouldn't comment on that at all.
Way to get us canceled, Mike.
Sorry, Princess Di. I would never disrespect her royal excellency like that ever.
Okay, take it easy. Take it easy. When Barry Bostwick pounds his fist on the table during the dinner scene, he accidentally pounded the hand of Susan Sarandon. The reaction from Sarandon is prominent and real. She got her revenge by accidentally stepping on Bostwick's foot with her spike heel during the floor show scene. His reaction is also visible. What's that?
I said good for her.
Yeah.
The set had no make it right, Erica.
Oh, here we go. Everyone's all of a sudden just on their high horse. What happened? The set had no heat and no bathrooms. When Susan Sarandon told the studio heads, they told her she was complaining too much. She caught pneumonia after filming the pool scene in her skimpy outfit. According to Richard O'Brien, she was shaking with fever and should have been under medical supervision, but refused to stop working. Filming took place from October through December in Bray near Windsor, England. Barry Bostwick claims he was always wet during filming because the castle had a leak. There was one warm room filled with space heaters where the cast members took turns warming up until the room caught fire.
Fuck, dude. Hell. Can't catch a break.
Tough set. Pierre LaRoche, a former personal stylist for David Bowie, created this movie's makeup styles. He also helped create the signature look for Dr. Frankenfurter. No
Love that.
surprise there. This work with
Love.
Bowie. Yeah.
That's like probably one of my favorite tidbits to hear about this movie.
There's correlation. Yeah, degrees of
Yeah.
separation. Steve Martin auditioned for the role of Brad Majors. So talking about recasting, it could have been Steve Martin, which I don't know.
think
That's
I could
really
picture
different.
that.
He's
Funny
too.
because he's too goofy.
I was going to
he's,
say that
you know
too.
what I mean?
Which is weird to say about this movie, but for that character specifically, like he's
Yeah.
very Poindexter, you know.
Not that
very-
he's not fun, but he's just too goofy to play
Yeah.
that role, I don't think.
In
Interesting.
2013, Richard O'Brien let slip that Barry Bostwick and Susan Sarandon were actually dating during the filming. When Frank
They're
is
both really
attacking
hot,
riffraff,
so, you know, good for them.
you find him attractive. You find Barry Bostwick attractive.
He's got a hot body. I mean, if they were just doing fun things, good for her.
I thought you were going to say if he had like a paper bag. Okay. When Frank is attacking riffraff with the whip, Tim Curry is actually cracking the whip against the floor in front of Richard O'Brien. However, at one point, Curry got a little too close and accidentally hit O'Brien. A slight grimace can be seen on his face as a result. 20th Century Fox originally offered a much larger budget to writer and director Jim Sharman on the condition that he cast popular musicians of the day. Sharman insisted upon using the original cast from the stage. So a compromise, he accepted a much smaller budget and agreed to cast American actors in the roles of Brad and Janet. Tim Curry, Richard O'Brien, Patricia Quinn, and Nell Campbell created their roles in the original stage production. Jonathan Adams appeared in the original cast as well, playing the role of the criminologist. Meatloaf had played the role of Eddie in the original Los Angeles stage production. Fuck yeah. According to Richard O'Brien, the skeleton in the clock was a real-life skeleton belonging to the woman who commissioned the clock. Oh, sorry. It wasn't the woman that... You get what I'm saying. The skeleton in the clock was a real-life skeleton that belonged to the woman who commissioned the clock. Like, it's not her skeleton, but... Anyways,
She owns,
2002,
she owns the clock with the skeleton in there.
Yes, thank you. In 2002, the clock auctioned for £35,000. Pretty good sale.
What's that, like
$20,000?
No,
Higher.
it's more. It's like
Like
almost
70,000?
It's probably like what 50. You could do the Google check.
It's okay.
What you said, 35? Probably like 42.
Never mind. Go on. I would. God damn you guys!
Like $42,000.
It's too late. Now I'm looking English pounds.
Weren't you just there?
To USD? God damn it! What did you say, Erica?
42.
Like 42,000. Or no, you said 35,000 pounds. So like
You're close.
$42,000.
It's 47,000. But that's also now. So, but anyways. Susan Sarandon sometimes dislikes talking about this movie because she hates the fact that none of the cast members got royalties from the DVD sales. Mick Jagger wanted to play Dr. Frankenfurter in the movie version. Talk about a freak. Richard O'Brien confessed that at the time he didn't like Tim Curry. O'Brien was resentful and envious because Curry was attractive and got all the good lines. In interviews, In interviews, writer and director Jim Sharman suggested that Time Warp has political connotations in the lyrics, a jump to the left and then a step to the right. It remains unclear where the pelvic thrust fits into this theory.
I know.
Everyone else is getting
I know
fucked.
where it comes. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone else is getting fucked.
Literally.
The cast collectively won the coveted EGOT, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
Oh, cool.
Tim Curry has a daytime Emmy for Peter Pan and the Pirates, 1990. Susan Sarandon won an Oscar for Dead Man Walking, 1995. Barry Bostwick won a Tony for The Robber Bridegroom. Meatloaf won a Grammy for I'd Do Anything for Love, but I Won't Do That.
I won't watch this movie.
Wow.
Ever again. Tim Curry and Susan Sarandon are reunited in Rugrats in Paris, as I mentioned. And lastly, in 2005, the Rocky Horror Picture Show was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress for being culturally, historical, and aesthetically significant. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Adrian.
Hell yeah.
I hope this never gets sent like to aliens for real, and then they watch it and think like this is a part of our culture.
They're gonna be like, how do they know this about us? You know? Yeah.
They're gonna be like, this is extremely accurate.
You know, Adrian, great job. I know this wasn't easy for you, but I hope you at least find some level of appreciation in the craft, of its uniqueness, of its time, and I feel like that's all that we could probably really get through to you.
I'm sure I'll get there, but for this Christmas,
it's all raw still.
For this Christmas, at least, like I'm gonna be mad every time my daughter loves Home Alone 1 and 2,
Yeah, it's burned.
and so I'm gonna be seeing Tim Curry in a hotel tripping over a step stool that he kicks with his ankle and laughing,
his
and then I'm gonna be thinking of Frankfurter, and my laughter will change right away. I'm gonna be looking at my daughter like crying, like I can't.
I think that's a testament to him and his performance in this role. That it is just transcending. You know what I mean? Well, thanks for enduring. I had a great time. Erica had a great time. I hope you listeners had a great time. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, be a part of our tribe, Erica. That's a little inside group text joke there, folks. But make sure to follow us across all our socials: Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, Letterboxd. Follow us on YouTube, where I'm having a lot of interviews with filmmakers, actors. Those are only on YouTube. So if you're listening on Spotify, the website, or Apple Podcasts, make sure to check those out on YouTube. Just released one for a documentary, Treasure of the Rice Terraces. Super interesting documentary about a 106-year-old tattoo artist in the Philippines that's keeping the tradition of hand tapping alive. You guys should check that out.
I should. Also. My cousins would dig that.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for that. That interview and my review is released. You can see that at the website, and the interview on YouTube. Podcast, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and
Spotify.
There we go. And stay tuned. We don't know what we're doing next episode, clearly, but we'll know.
Email
shortly.
in.
But make sure.
Email in, fans.
Send us an email, seeingthisemail@gmail.com. Go to our website, seeingthispod.com. But until then, stay safe.
Peace.